Jaya Gopi Jana Vrinda Girivaradhana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram. Jaya Radha Govinda Vallabha Radha Govinda Vallabha. Jaya Vishai Patita Pavana Hari Jaya Vishai Pavana जय ओम श्रीपाद परमानंद परिव्राजकाचार्य भट्टाचार्य श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव की जय। आनंद विष्णु श्रीमद् हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण। reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 32, text number 24. 3:32-24. यदास्याचित्तमर्तेषु समेषु इन्द्रियवृत्तिभिः न विग्रन्थि विश्वं वैषम्यं प्रियम् अप्रियम् इति उत यदास्य चित्तमर्थेषु समेष्व इन्द्रियवृत्तिभिः न विगृह्णन्ति न विगृह्णन्ति वैषम्यं न विगृह्णन्ति वैषम्यं प्रिया प्रिय इत्युता प्रियम् अप्रियम् इत्युता
यदास्य
चित्तमर्थेषु
समेष्व
इन्द्रियवृत्तिभिः
न विगृह्णति वैषम्यं
न विगृह्णन्ति वैषम्यं
प्रियम् अप्रियम् इति उत
प्रियम् अप्रियम् इति यदा when asya of the devotees chittam the mind artheshu in the sense objects sameshu same indriya vrittivihi by the activities of the senses na not vigrihnanti does not perceive does perceive vaishamyam difference priyam agreeable apriyam not agreeable iti thus uta certainly. Translation and purport by Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The exalted devotee's mind becomes equipoised in sensory activities, and he is transcendental to that which is agreeable and not agreeable. Purport. The significance of advancement in transcendental knowledge and detachment. The significant advancement in the transcendental knowledge and detachment from the material attraction is exhibited in the personality of highly advanced devotee. For him, there is nothing agreeable or disagreeable because he does not act in any way for his personal sense gratification. Whatever he does, whatever he thinks, is for the satisfaction of the personality of Godhead, either in the material world or in the spiritual world. His equipoised mind is completely manifested. He can understand that the material world is there. Sorry, he can understand that in the material world there is nothing good. Everything is bad due to its being contaminated by the material nature. The materialist conclusion of good and bad, moral and immoral, etc., are simply mental concoction or sentiment. Actually, there is nothing good in this material world. In the spiritual field, everything is absolutely good. There is no inebriety in the spiritual varieties because a devotee accepts everything in spiritual vision. He is equipoised. That is the symptom of his being elevated to the transcendental position. He automatically attains detachment, vairagya, then jnana, knowledge, and then actual transcendental knowledge. The conclusion is that an advanced devotee dovetails himself in the transcendental qualities of the Lord, in that sense that he becomes qualitatively one with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं भंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरोऽन्यतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् सिंधुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna. So this verse, it is the discussion between Kapil Dev's instruction to his mother. Kapil Dev instructed entire philosophy of Bhakti Yoga, and then these are the ending instructions. So in the previous two verses, Kapil Dev says, "My dear mother, I therefore advise you to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For his lotus feet are worth worshipping. Accept this with all devotion and love, for thus you can be situated in the transcendental devotional service." See the previous next verse. He says, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayatyasu Vairagyam Jnanam Yad Brahma Darshanam. So here Kapil Dev says, engagement in Krishna consciousness and application of devotional service unto Krishna make it possible to advance in knowledge and detachment, and as well as in self-realization. And finally, today's verse, okay, where he says, like, a person who is actually in the path of self-realization through the Bhakti Yoga process is always equipoised. He is not carried away by the dualities of this material world. So, if you see all these verses, Kapil Dev is stressing on the process of Bhakti Yoga, and for a person who is engaged in the karma kanda, karma yoga, karma yogi, for him, the most distracting things means like which will tempt the karma yogi is the results of his action of going to Sargaloka or enjoying these opulences in this material world. For a person who is engaged in the Jnana Yoga, what are the causes of the downfall is false pride. Means I am the more philosophical, I am the most, I have the more knowledge than anybody. And for a person who is, for a yogi who is in the process of Ashtanga Yoga, the process most the failing part means like most possibility of fall down is the siddhis. When he gets the siddhis, he may misutilize them, and he will not be able to reach the destination. So, but for a person in the Bhakti Yogi is the dualities, honor, dishonor, happiness, distress, and to add to that thing, the offenses toward the devotees are the most dangerous things, which will actually hamper the progress of a Bhakti Yogi. So now here Kapil Dev is saying, the exalted devotees in mind becomes equipoised in the sensory activities. Means they they are equal in both honor and dishonor, uh, happiness and distress. So in the previous verses, Kapil Dev instructed, Jnanam yad dahatikim. When you perform bhakti, one develops knowledge and also detachment. Developing knowledge means what to do. Means, there are in any process there are do's and don'ts. If you see the Ashtanga Yoga also, there are do's and don'ts. No, yama and niyama. So yama is what is to be avoided, and niyama is what to be followed. In the Bhakti Yoga process also, there are do's and don'ts. So, before going to, like even in Ashtanga Yoga process also, first you have to work on yama. Yama means don'ts. What you have to get rid of first. Then only you will be able to start the spiritual process. Unless you cannot, because in this material world, everything is contaminated. Unless you purify yourself by uh, renouncing something, you will not be able to start the spiritual process. In the same way, in the Bhakti Yoga process also, uh, in the nectar of instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami writes, first of all, you have to renounce all these things. Ahara, Atyahara Prayasasya Prajalpo Niyamagraha Janasangascha Laulyam Shadbir Bhaktir Vinashyati means Atyahara, eating more than what you needed, or acquiring more than whatever is required for us to perform devotional service. And prayas means endeavoring for something which is very impossible to achieve. If we see working 18 hours, working 16 hours, and then 7 days a week, that is called prayas. So prayas is actually very much appreciated in the materialistic circle, the karma, brahmadis. But when a person is executing his duties and performing his duties and focused on spiritual life, immediately he will be in the ashram setup. Ashram means not too much of shrama, not too much of endeavoring. That's why whenever any shelter for devotees is there, they have a designation. This is brahmachari ashram, this is grahastha ashram, this is vanaprastha ashram, this is sannyas ashram. So, but if anybody is not actually doing anything spiritual, then he will be said as materialist. So that's why atyahara means not accumulating more than what is required, and prayasa, and not endeavoring too much. Endeavoring on the spiritual path is good, but somebody may say we also have the verses like Tivirena Bhakti Yogana. You have to perform devotion service very intensely. Yes, that is true. Because the more intensely we perform, the more faster we get purified. For example, if you see Dhruva Maharaj was able to get the darshan of Lord Vishnu within 6 months. Because his tapasya, his devotion service is very intense. He was not eating at all. No, he was only in the first 6 months. He was only eating once in 2 days. That too, not some kapita fruits and then some dried leaves. And then after that, he stepped up again. He said only drinking water. And then after that, he stepped up and only taking air. And again, after he stepped up, like once in a few days, he takes some air, he inhaled. Means he was so much, so intense. Means he was not moving, he was not doing anything. He was totally uh, dedicated in the performing devotion service. Of course, that kind of austerities are not possible for us in this material world, but there are some austerities that we can do, extending ourselves. That's why devotees, like senior devotees always say one should keep oneself in the stretch zone. There is comfortable zone, like chanting 16 rounds become comfortable after you reach certain stage. That's why they chant more rounds, chant like before Mangalarti and after Mangalarti, or like that. So, but of course, yes, that is also true. And one more thing is, what is Trivra means, uh, we are in this material world, often constantly carried away by the modes of nature. Mm. Modes of nature in, like no Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Prakrute kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankar vimudatma karta hamiti manyate. When we are carried away by the mode of goodness, we will think, okay, I would now uh, engage in devotional service, I do something positive like that. Mm. And then engage in passion, we get distracted by news or movies and all, or any endeavors which are actually passionate in thing. And then when you are in mode of ignorance, just sleep off. So uh, basically like the modes of nature has a great contribution in the result that we achieve. So one should not be carried away by the modes of nature. And that's why Prabhupada confined, okay, chant 16 rounds, follow 4 principles, and attend Bhagavatam, regularly Bhagavatam classes. Uh, like there is an example, right? If one can be able to follow this simple process, one can be able to achieve the process of success in self-realization. Means he'll be able to go back to Godhead. No, if any Ashtanga yogi or any Karma yogi or any Jnana yogi hears that, he will be like no, be, he would think this is only a kind of imagination. How can we are enduring so much? We are working so much, we are working so hard, and we are reading so many books, and we are hard, struggling to remember them, and then draw conclusions from them. And if you take Ashtanga yogis, they hardly eat, they hardly sleep, they perform very severe austerities. Uh, The destination that is achieved by the process of Bhakti Yoga is way higher than these all three other yogis, and the Karma yogis at most can reach up to the heavenly planets, and the Jnana yogis can at most reach to the Brahman effulgence, and the Ashtanga yogis will have the choice while leaving their body, wherever the planet they want to go, they can go. Mm. So, but Bhakti yogis were automatically promoted to the spiritual world, either Vaikuntha or Gaurav. And that too, the austerities of Bhakti Yogi are very simple, very simple. They can eat nice prasadam, they can dance and sing, uh, and then um, get success in this process. So what is actually Bhakti Yogi sacrificing is the false ego. False ego is the strongest layer of the ignorance, which will actually makes the enduring spiritualist to get out of this material existence. Or mind, a bhakti yogi sacrifices his false ego. That's why he will be in the mood of dasanudas. He will be servant of Krishna. Gopi Bhartar Padakamadar Dasa Dasanudasa. So that is the greatest that is the greatest thing that is able to renounce. Like a karma yogi will identify with his fruits of action. A Jnana Yogi will identify with what he can understand, what he can speak on very difficult topics like of Jnana, like Vedas, Upanishads and all. And the Ashtanga Yogis will be identifying himself with these siddhis, how much amount of difficult austerities he can perform and what he can accomplish, Anima, Lagima, all those Ashtasiddhis. So these are all, in one sense, boost the ego of the person. And but a bhakti yogi being in a humble state, that's why all the devotees, especially His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, stresses very much. He says, you take these words and wear on your wear as your jewel, as a instrument, as a ornament on your body or your forehead. Trunadapi sunishena tarorapi saishna amanina amanadina kirtaniya sadari. Means you are taking the most humble position. Somebody speaks harshly, just yes, okay. and somebody like not only speak harshly, somebody offends you, like no, just like the tree. What does the tree do? Somebody comes to the shelter, it will give the shade. But if somebody wants, if the tree has some fruits, the people will take the stones and hit the tree. But the tree in return will give the fruits. And if they want, they can cut the tree also. Tree won't protest. So, Trunadapi Taruropi Seshna, Amanina Manadena. Don't expect any respect, just give respect. So, if one can work on this for a Bhakti Yogi, this is the most difficult part. Bhakti Yogi, like no, committing any offenses, and this the anarthas of Bhakti Yogi are also settled, like offending devotees and the 10 offenses to the holy name. So, if one can get through all these things, the process of the success for him. This is a process of sacrificing the one's false ego. I'm the performer. I'm a man. I'm a woman. I have that position. I have this position. I'm the in charge. That kind of everything. Like even the material things also. I'm a lawyer, engineer, doctor. All those things. If one is identifying with them and one is bringing those designations into the devotional circle, means we are actually acting against our eternal position of being servant of devotees. If we think that we have some position, we have some authority over other devotees, then that is the most uh, uh, dangerous thing that we can do to damage our spiritual progress. So that's why for one to take the position of dasanudasa means, so they should have the enough of vairagya, detachment from, like no, why do we get angry? We get angry when we are attached to something. Somebody says something against it, immediately we get angry. And why do we then if that our desire is not fulfilled, then immediately anger will come. From anger, frustration and negative thinking and contemplation of like how to counteract that person. All those negative things, negative emotions will enter into our mind. So that's why we should always like I heard some devotees saying one should remember the initial days. Initial days means first few weeks, first few days of the mood of entering into a devotional circle. We'll be very grateful to every devotee. We'll be paying obeisances, and then we will be like with like I'm not able to recall that brahmachari's name. Somebody called him to, everybody was doing pradakshina to Tulsi Maharani, and the devotee went and asked, can I do pradakshina to Tulsi Maharani? And he said, yes, why not? And then he's doing pradakshina to Tulsi Maharani, and he was very grateful. Oh, I'm like, by constantly meditating on that mantra of Tulsi Maharani, and then and taking aarti and taking prasadam. So that if you remember that initial days and we try to work it back, like what is actually uh, what is actually uh, what actually makes us, if some devotee talks to us, we will be very grateful. Somebody somebody gives us respect, we'll be hesitant to take that respect. So that if we totally become insensitive to all those things as we progress, we think everything for granted. Darshan, like now, initially, Mangalarti curtain opens, we'll be running towards Mangalarti. Later on, okay, you know what time Mangalarti opens, you know what time curtains close, I can go a little later. So the thing is, we develop familiarity with the devotees, we develop familiarity with the deities, we develop familiarity with the process, and also initially we'll be very attentive to listening. Any class, anybody is giving you very attentive to listening and take it, and whenever say today is Ekadashi, chant more rounds, we'll be dedicatedly focusing on that. But as the time process, we also develop familiarity with the holy name also. Initially, we'll be sitting very attentively and sitting in as much as consciousness, as much as attention that we can give for the process, we'll give. But later on, we develop the familiarity. So this will actually hamper our progress because we are developing familiarity. When you develop familiarity, what will happen is we are attaching to something else, and we have to identify what is it what is it taking me away from my bhakti. What is it making me so agitated? What is it making me so much distracted? And we try to cut it down. One should actually examine by themselves at all. Why am I getting distracted? Why am I getting agitated? Why am I getting uh, all those things? And then, like initially, everything starts with the thought level. If one thinks anything negative about other person, it will automatically reflect in the dealings with other person. So we should always know, like, oh, you might be thinking, oh, this person came just now, like, no, or he came after me. He's, no, I can be harsh upon him, like that kind of mentality. Or, like, when we, with respect to senior devotees, like, oh, I know him, this person, he has so many defects, all those things. So that kind of, that kind of judging mentality started with our thinking. We are not focusing on what are the good qualities they have, but we are focusing on what are the negative things they have. And it can be either a freshly entering person into the devotional circuit or a neophyte devotee or newcomer. We should say not new because we are all neophyte devotees only. Any newcomer or an advanced senior devotee. We should have the great respect because they are not our men, they are Krishna's men, they are Prabhupada's, they are related to Prabhupada, and they are helping us to stay with us and travel with us back home, back to Godhead. Because without them, our life will be so boring. Without them, our life will be so frustrated because they are helping us in so many ways and so many things. And we have to refine our dealings as the time progresses. We have to contemplate on what is actually causing the conflict and all those things. So then those are all the kind of niyamas, yamas for the bhakti yogi that I could think of externally. And then after that, we have to not only work on don'ts, but also we have to work on do's also. Utsaha nichaya dhairya tat karma pravartanat sangat sangatyagat sato vritti shadbir bhakti pranashyati. So there are six things, means being patient, being enthusiastic, and then endeavoring with confidence, and being patient. So it can be it can be applied to anything that in our life with respect to our relations with other devotees or our experience, devotional experience also. Because if you start chanting, we will not be able to release chanting the holy name of Krishna in the beginning, or we may develop like in the beginning, Krishna gives little taste, but after that, Krishna won't give any taste for chanting the holy name. But we are only we should only take pleasure in the sense of duty, because my spiritual master told me to chant regularly, to attend Mangalarti regularly, and then to be present in Srimad Bhagavatam classes. And that I am doing, and which is satisfying to spiritual master. Every day of my endeavor, every day of my sadhana is satisfying to I am giving pleasure to my spiritual master. And by dealing with devotees nicely, by sacrificing our false ego, I'm a senior devotee, I'm a so and so position, all those things, by sacrificing those, we are improving relationship with the devotees. We are making our journey to travel that with the devotees more and more joyful, because conflict happens with two hands. Like, means like there might be some things on the other side, there might be something on your side also. So when we totally surrender, means like we are totally uh, give up the egoistic mentality and then say, and then work, then it is easy for us to develop nice relationships. And then abandoning the association of non-devotees, physically, mentally, and uh, in our thoughts also. Abandoning all those non-devotee association and then following the footsteps of previous acharyas. So by doing these things, we can develop. We can develop. We can see there are like the stages of 9 stages of devotion service. That all starts with Shraddha, the faith. The Shraddha will help us to get into the process, and then associating with the devotees will help in getting rid of all the anarthas very faster. And nourishing. Association of devotees will help in nourishing us in the process of bhakti. And then so that we'll be able to do nice bhajana kriya. And then we'll come to that stage and then finally stops at the stage of anartha nivritti. Anartha nivritti will take very, very, very long time, very long time. It may take lifetimes also. So for one to sacrifice, for one to progress in the anartha nivritti stage very faster, the more you renounced for everything, material, everything, like name, fame, all the prestige, all those things, the more detachment that you develop, the more faster the anartha nivritti will takes place. Then we'll develop the nishtha, the steadiness in our devotion service, and which will lead to love and pure love, prema. So we can judge. Somebody asked, "Oh, it's Prabhupada. How can we know that we are progressing well in our devotion service?" Prabhupada said only one thing: if you are progressing in your devotional service, your spiritual life, means your detachment is increasing. You have to think how much detached, how are you dealing with your attachments? The more and more detachment you develop, uh, then means you are progressing nicely. Otherwise, you're not making much progress. If you think, okay, I'm holding this to this thing, and I've been performing bhakti, after some time you should develop disinterested in the whatever you are holding, and then move forward. Then only you will be able to make spiritual progress. Because if it is said, when you leave off something which you are holding in your hands, Krishna will give the more valuable thing. But if you are holding the same thing, Krishna will not give, okay, hold as much as long as you want. So that's why that can be applicable to anything, like our dedication to family, our dedication to nation, our dedication to the society. These are all deals on the platform of ego. So the more we develop detachment, the more we progress. And anartha nivritti and also artha pravritti. We have to do also nice, not only we offend devotees, we should develop loving relationship with the devotees. We should also not only give up something bad, but we should also cultivate something good also. Because by nature, the spirit soul is anandamaya abhyasa, always pleasure seeking. So if you give something up, means soul cannot stay without having something which gives her pleasure, which gives the soul pleasure. So it will constantly be looking. If you don't keep on adding something positive, then it will again fall back to what it used to derive pleasure from. That's why we constantly and cautiously give something more and more interesting. That cannot be something as agitating as the previous thing, because the pleasures in the mode of passion are nectar in the beginning and poison at the end. But the pleasures in the mode of goodness or pure goodness are like poison in the beginning and nectar at the end. So we should be able to see derive pleasure in performing austerities. The way Krishna told to gopis, right? Krishna told to gopis that, no, I cannot repay you for whatever you have done by giving up your home, husbands, wife, children, and came for me when I called, in the rasa dance. So, and then he says, and I cannot even repay back you in the lifetime of Brahma. What to speak of 1-2 days. So you be satisfied with your own tapasya. Means there is always scope for improvement. So we should constantly strive for keep on improving ourselves. So if we reach one stage, then always put ourselves in the stretch zone. Stretch means we have to stretch ourselves to make progress. We have to stretch ourselves to help others. We have to stretch ourselves to be spiritual master. That's how we make progress and we'll be able to achieve the success in spiritual life. So with respect to detachment, now we have a nice example, right? Like Ramachandra, Lord Ram, when he was told by Dashrath Maharaj, okay, now you are going to be king tomorrow. Go and get rest and come back tomorrow nicely. So Ram was very happy and Sita was very happy. All the residents of Ayodhya were very happy. Next day early morning, he was called and he was told to go to forest. And Ram took both the things with such a equanimity. Means he's even though he was happy about being the king and everybody around him was happy, Ram was happy seeing everybody around him happy because he is going to be king. That was Ram's position. And he was able to take both the things, the instruction of not that the being a king or going abandoning the kingdom and going to forest. But there are some other characters in Ramayana also, like how like Sugriva, when he lost the kingdom, he was fighting back. That is another level. Okay, Sugriva has a right climb because he is fighting back. And another level is that is the mode of Ram. The Ram's dealing with the reversal is the mode of goodness. Sugriva's dealing in the reversal is the mode of passion. And Ravana's mode in the reversal is Sita Devi is not accepting him. He was getting more and more frustrated. He has so many kings, he has so many queens, but he was not able to take. But one lady was not accepting him. So that is the mode of ignorance. So but in the process of devotional service, whatever we do, we should be very careful because what we think is actually going to come into action sooner or later. What are we thinking? As soon as some negative thought come about a devotee, immediately focus on something positive about the devotee. And what are we getting attached to? Are we after any position? Are we after any name or fame or anything like that? Except the service, surrender service to Guru and Krishna. If we are, if you are hankering for any other thing, it will ultimately lead to the frustration, either today or tomorrow. Because if we are hankering for that, you will develop attachment, and somebody will come and somebody knowingly or unknowingly will be on your path. You will see someone who comes to take that thing that you have as an enemy because he is actually uh, he will be the person who is actually a roadblock for your pleasure. So roadblock for pleasure. Huh? Roadblock or so but we may actually somebody may actually we may actually externally pretend as if we are detached, but Krishna and Maya knows that what we are attached to, and Maya is so clever that right moment, right person, right word, right circumstances will instigate the conflict. So but we are totally surrendered, totally prepared with detachment. Okay, let it be, let it be, let it go, let it go. Then it is the easiest way because for a das, for a servant, nothing he can demand of. Like for example, boss comes and praises him. he should take it. And boss unnecessarily or without any mistake also chastise the servant, he should take. He cannot keep and argue and or fight with the owner. If he fights and if he fights means he is not a servant and he is not the he does not have the right mood of servant. So developing this mood of servant, like if you go to any hotel, five-star hotels or any good uh, highly paid uh, restaurants or anywhere, you can see like you get into the planes also, the air hostess are they will be so welcoming, so humble. They smile even though they don't feel like smiling. They so because it is we can see from them how they are taking up the mood of servant. So why can't we have that? Like even sometimes these persons who are working, not all the time they will get this nice reciprocation, but still they maintain their mood, they maintain their service attitude. The same way, when we are in the devotion circles, when you are with the Lord and with the exalted devotees, we should have this mood of servant of servant. Sometimes we'll be misunderstood, sometimes we'll be like somebody will might be unnecessarily be angry at us, but we should be able to take it properly with the right attitude. Then only with this will please Krishna, because Krishna is in the heart. How much you are taking, even if there is fault on your end. The good example of like Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj was very surrendered. Even though he didn't do any mistake, Durasmani was angry at him. Immediately Krishna intervened. And in the 11th canto also there is one story. I'm not able to recall that. So these are the nice things that we can take it up. Okay. Uh, one time, I don't remember that person's name. He was actually guarding the cows in the night, and a tiger attacks him. Tiger attacks the cows. In order to kill the tiger, he actually kills the cow accidentally. He's the ancestor of, and Vasishtha Muni curses him to become Sudra, but he goes back to Godhead because he doesn't oppose Vasishtha Muni. So he doesn't argue with her. He just renounces his position and then goes into forest and perform bhakti. And he doesn't take next life. He instead of next life, he'll directly go back to God. So like sometimes some devotees might misunderstand us. Sometimes some even Guru also misunderstands us. If they're asked, no, if they're asked, why did you do that? Then you can explain. If not, then just take it and then proceed further. That is the easiest way to avoid the offenses to the devotees. Okay, that's what I could speak. If anybody have any questions, we would like to anything, add anything, any corrections. Sure. Start with thoughts first. Karma yogi means he is working as per his desire and then giving the results to Krishna. He's in the path of dharma. He's a pious. He's performing pious activities. He'll go to he'll go to heavenly planets, and then he will not be able to go back to God unless he become a devotee. If he becomes a devotee, then only he will go back to God.
Yeah, if he offers the each of his results to Krishna, and slowly he will progress. Otherwise, if it's just karma kanda just for his own self gratification, but then depending on his positive and negative thing, he may either go to that or that.
Doing only positive things for me, feeding other people, helping the needy people, and then means sacrificing his own interest for the sake of others. Somebody will say, I don't believe in God, I will just do good for others. What is there? That kind of people at most. Karma kanda means for own sense gratification. For own sense gratification means I want this, I will work hard. That is karma kanda. Karma yoga means what is good to be done. What is dharma? I will do dharma. I'll arrange sacrifices. I will do charity. I will do that is karma yoga. Madarpanam, as soon as that Madarpanam comes, immediately becomes a karma yoga, will become a bhakti, enter into the bhakti. But if he neglects that Madarpanam and do everything, and if he doesn't have this conception, I'm doing it for Krishna. Like for example, yoga means it is also connecting God, but it's a very, very slow process. But bhakti means right from the beginning. Yeah, I'll give a nice distinction. What is karma yoga? Somebody is hungry on the street. You spend your hard-earned money, buy foodstuffs, and go and give them. They will worship you. Oh, thank you very much. You are like a god, and then you'll be okay. You adjust the color also. That is karma yoga. But that is karma yoga. Means he is doing good. He is a pious person. But bhakti yogi, what does he do? He does same thing. He cooks and he prepares the foodstuff, offer it to Krishna, and he with the feeling, Krishna, I'm doing it for you because I'm distributing your prasadam, and that is bhakti yoga. Means the action is same. If it is without Krishna, it is karma yogi. He may reach to the heavenly planet, but if he doesn't perform as a service to Krishna, then he will end up becoming karma yogi. Yeah, even Madarpanam also, not all the arpanas means you perform everything, like you don't have to, I'm doing it for Krishna. He said, I'm doing it for dharma. That kind of person, they will not go back to God. Somebody who has real personal connection with Krishna and doing everything for the sake of Krishna, or then only that person will go back to God. Like there are many, like for example, Bill Gates is doing a lot of charity work. He is doing as a service to humanity. Service to humanity is also part of dharma. So that kind of person, they will get the pious results. Like if you're donating $1 million, in the next lifetime you will get $10 million. That can be considered as karma yoga. But for example, Food for Life project, it is called bhakti yoga process because you are offering to Krishna, and with a tilak and with dhoti, you are actually reaching Krishna whenever you get chance. That is called bhakti yoga.
What is telling you that Bhagavan is God? God means only different
That's what I said. Like heavenly planet is also.
Kanda means devatas. Yoga means Karma-yogi doesn't have.
I heard this. Yeah, good.
Karma-yogi doesn't have clear conception of things. So it's only Brahman and Brahmata phenomena. So when yoga comes in, yoga needs to enter into the life. Each step. Yoga thinks it is Bhagavan. Ashtanga yoga thinks it is Paramatma. Brahman, Brahma yoga is Bhagavan. Jnana yoga, or some journalists, they think it's Brahman. So that is the difference between Brahmapanda and Brahman. So he's offering the fruits. Who is attracted to that fruit? These are other things in the life.
Yes. Fruits of action. So
He's offering to God. Not only but Karma can't be. The moment you're offering it to God, you're a yogi. If not, if you don't, then you're a karma.
God in the sense like you don't have to offer like oh, you have to go and tell God I'm doing this charity on behalf of you. You don't have to do that. You can do charity as a service to you don't say you don't have to because it is dharma. It is dharma means dharma to sakshat Bhagavat. If you have that understanding, Bhagavad Pranitam. Whatever is God said, okay, God said, okay, if you have so much, you actually donate to needy people, maintain some orphanages, or like that means caring, means now right now India they say right, Janata Janardhan means God, they can see God in the people. There are some atheistic persons, they say I'm humanist. They are also good. They are also doing, but they are not accepting God. They are humanists. Like he's number one. Like whatever you say anything about God, you will immediately these are all imaginary. These are all mental concoctions. There is nobody like God. Only humanity is there. So that kind of person is a karma yogi because he's sacrificing. He's a karma yogi. Yes, Prabhu. He's a karma yogi. See, like take the example of Maharaj Durga. Durga Maharaj. Where did he go? He went to only heavenly planet. He didn't go to back to Godhead.
Actually, here, I did not question the point he went back to the definition of
Who offers to Krishna? Yoga comes means he is connected to Krishna in a remote way.
Krishna comes in others Krishna rather the person only for the so in the case of the difference in karma binding and karma yoga is they accept the other maybe personal benefits. Actually, karma yogi doesn't have a clear conception of the yoga. Once he reads books, then only he can
Jnana yogi.
So he is offering it to apply, he is offering it. But now, can be Krishna and for the yogi, or it can be done. So the point is, karma kandi means Lakshya karma kandi is Lakshya Deva. Because Deva is in the karma yogi is conception of God, it's in the so, for that reason, it will become fighting. It will not become pure. And it's not pure, but they will become a concept. That makes him go to the so actually same topic happened in India. I clarified it. And again, he brought it out as mention. Whatever example you're telling,
No, I heard some labels.
they want fruit. So they worship devotees. And not devotees means the results.
Can you actually say the difference between karma yogi and bhakti yogi, Prabhu?
Karma yogi, bhakti yogi means it doesn't karma yogi. It doesn't have, it gives fruits. Yes, he is to God, but the God which God is not here. Is a very activity. Here clearly, there is not even attached to that. This is good for Krishna video. I'm not allowed to fight. But it is very clear that it is. Karma is attached to the not to activity. It is attached to the activity.
So, like, that's what I told, right? If somebody performs karma yoga, he'll go to heavenly planet. Somebody like karma yogi is
Just getting clarification.
no. I just wanted to confirm this because somebody who executes dharma, what is the destination for? Dharma means dharma can be of different level. Dharma, highest dharma, paro dharma is bhakti. But dharma below paro dharma is all material things. Taking care of your family, taking care of your wife and kids, taking care of the society. No, that's the dharma only. That is not bhakti. And that's what I'm saying. That is not bhakti. Anybody like doing charity to brahmanas, doing charity to
Nitya dharma, Nitya dharma is bhakti. Again, Nitya dharma is
bhakti is paro dharma, right? Prabhu? Nitya dharma means they're regularly doing sacrifices.
not the daily thing. So the magnificent is temporary, but not temporary. These two words are very much connected. So Nitya Dharma means Nitya, we are saying Nitya Krishna. So Nitya Dharma means the Vaishnava Dharma, means so must. Magnificent means the father of the family, they are bringing Krishna, but when they bring you everything, that's called your prescribed duties. Prescribed duties will give you piety.
Piety will do you to heavenly planet. That's true. Yeah.
So, slight clarification I'm just trying to do is that Dharma can't be dharma, we just got in higher. Dharma yogi means immediately we control yoga means increase connect. Yoga means again Nishkama Karma Sakama Karma. So Nishkama Karma is different types of things. So Nishkama and Sakama Karma means doing with the duty intention. So they will yes, Nishkama Sakama Karma. I'm doing charity, but he still is not clear of all this. Family bonds. Nishkama Karma, he is not attached to the activity. He is not attached to the fruit, but that is activity. Can you help me Brahman? That person. Either you go to Brahman, or you get literally Paramatma, and
Okay.
I just want everyone to understand. You understood or you got it?
Yes, very good. You can explain this in Saturday room in your class, in the Bhagavatam class.
My understanding of the karma yogi is someone who dedicates only the fruits to Krishna, gives only the fruits.
Many students. Kama means there's results. You want to for improvement. So then what happens is again in destination plan. Nishkama means it is attached to the activity, but the fruit is unification. But we need to God, he's God. Then he's running karma yoga. Doesn't it is actually it doesn't have a clear idea. That's why he wants to go and follow. They don't do anything. But they also do and they go decide what they want to do. So they don't have anything. I just want to begin to see eventually. I don't want to do it. In those days, they don't have the knowledge. They're coming them with self-test. Good at saying, coming in abortion with the desire, I want to that is fighting. But here, somebody gave God. I don't know anything. That's Nishkama. Nishkama means big word, Nishkama Brahma. So what is that? For him, he is not attached to the result, fruit, but is attached to the activity. Nishkama Karma. But he has a better destination.
So eventually Krishna will lead him to either Bhakti Yoga or lead him to Jnana Yoga. He will not just stay there. But he stays there with Krishna. Then actually, Tatpurush Yoga, that verse is Karma Yoga, but still is actually Bhakti Yoga, that verse.
Is there any karma that we do?
Is there any karma? No, actually, this is the thing. Nishkama Karma Yoga is, that's why I said that. Nishkama Karma Yoga is, never somebody end up in Brahman. Somebody may end up in Paramatma. Or somebody will end up in, eventually they get back to and they'll go back to God. These are the three things. That's why
Some reliable source on the heard, karma yogi destination is Sarvaloka, and the Jnana yogi is Brahman, and Ashtanga yogi is
Sorry, but one thought will be that karma, someone performs karma. It depends, like you're doing distributing food to someone. You may think it's good, but then what that person does with that food is one thing. And if you give money, that's also another thing. So it's not.
my point is very clear. Yoga means, which means to connect. Yoga is activity to reconnect, to revive your original conscious position.
So Krishna should be there, then only it's yoga.
Yeah, then only you can do that.
No.
That's what I was
No. Again, what about Jnana Yoga? Where is Krishna in Jnana Yoga?
Jnana yoga means reading all the rituals and all those things. That is Jnana yoga.
Karma Yogi performs karma for the pleasure of God, but he doesn't know who God is. God can be for him, he listens bits and pieces. It can be Brahman, it can be Paramatma, again Bhagavat. So he wants to have demigods, demigods too. Usually demigods are Sakam Karmis. Demigods too. Actually, there's little deeper. Nishkama Karma Yogi will eventually become a Jnana Yogi or Ashtanga Yogi or Bhakti Yogi. And his destination is one of the three, Brahman, Paramatma Yoga. Sakama Karma Yogi will end up in death, in heavenly planets, because he has desires, fruitive desires. So,
Nishkama karma.
Nishkama Karma Yogi, based on further knowledge, if he
Nishkama karma yogi is working without expectation of any results for himself.
yes.
So there are so many atheists who does, like I said, humanists, wherein they'll go back to God.
Atheist means then there is not, you don't use the word karma yoga, you call it karmi. No.
Karma kanda means working for own sense gratification. That
Karmi.
karma kandi can be Nishkama karma yogi.
No, that cannot be. Yogi means
Nishkami at least, okay. Nishkami.
karmi. Karmi means sense.
Sense enjoy. Okay.
Nishkama karmi. It's not Nishkama karmi. It's not. Nishkama means you have no desire. Prabhupada and Prabhupada met and postman. By all these things, why can't you, just do social service? Prabhupada it's not possible. It's a dharmadvaji. Dharmadvaji means he's showing its service, it's not. What is that? Yasyasti. Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati kinchana. Sarver Ganesh Rama Shikuto Madguna. When Krishna is not there, you are mental platform. Mental platform is desires outcome. Desires means you have to enjoy. You have to enjoy means
Like there is one story of Prachina Vargi, right? Narvani. Prachina Vargi was performing Karma Yoga.
Karmakanda.
Karma Kanda means all the yajnas. So yajna, when from yajna comes means there should be Vishnu.
Not necessarily. Devatas also can do it.
That's what Lord Shiva's episode, right? How can you do Nirishwara Yajna? That was the question. You wanted to do Yajna without Lord Shiva. You wanted to, like.
Understand.
Very